Hey, and welcome back. My name is Matthew Diabate. You guys just arrived on Kill the Cat Radio, Sharp Teeth, episode 19. Oh, yeah. I'm going to say that again. 19. Can you believe it? I say that every time. I'm like a broken record. Who am I? Some old convalescent old lady. Like, oh, thanks for coming back to episode 19. I'm pretty excited about it. I'm just happy to be here. It's so fun to finally get the office in order, the cameras in order, the lighting in order. I got some blackout curtains on the windows here, so it doesn't have to be blown out like those light episodes we had. Good stuff I was talking about. Bad look. Finally trying to get some production design around here. But other than that, not much has changed. I got my bass over here. Okay, very good bass. One day I'll play you a song. Weird statues here. Plus the hat. Good luck hat. And of course, the featured book, Hot Water Music, Charles Bukowski. Now, I know that I keep repeating the same people. It's either Ernest Hemingway or Sigmund Freud or Charles Bukowski. Yeah, I know a lot about these people. It's fun. But this episode is kind of perfect that Bukowski's one of the books that we're talking about, the featured books, because, yes, we've got our famous little clipboard, is because this, episode 19, is the bar issue to tell you and God and everybody that I had been working in bars for over 25 years. That is a quarter of a century of working in bars. What are bars really? What are they? They're places where legally drugs are distributed amongst the human populace and everything's fine. Put everybody in a room, a bar, and just give them alcohol, i.e. drugs, and see what happens. Maybe put on some weird music. Maybe put on some interesting films on the TV. Bars has always been the weirdest place to be. One day we will do a history of bars, but for this episode 19, I'm going to talk about personal stories for me and the bar world. Thank you for listening. I want to go ahead and thank the 53 subscribers down below. If you haven't subscribed already, you better get on that. Let's get into it. I think the first thing I could say is the history of bars. I didn't really know much about bars. I guess most kids don't. My Uncle Billy definitely took me to my first bar. I think I was 14 years old or something like that. And it was pretty fun, actually. He posed me as some older man. I ordered a Roy Rogers, which for those who don't know is simply Coca-Cola with a little cherry juice and a cherry inside, so you feel like you're a real tough kid, you know? He was cool, though. He showed me around. He was hitting on the women. It was just cool. It was just a nice way of learning about bars. I don't know. I knew some other people as they got older, like I was a waiter, so I was used to serving people, and that's an entirely different episode, when you actually feed human beings. But if it's just a bar, who gives a shit? I mean, people go into bars for 3 reasons. Okay, number 1, they're lost. Number 2, they want to get drunk. Number 3, they want to fuck or at least hang out with people that, I don't know, could be fun and could be interesting sexually. So what am I really saying? Bars really are only for 2 reasons: to drink and maybe to fuck, and or be cool and meet people or whatever, or just cut loose, if you will, right? They put on the music, everything's fine. But people always ask, like, how do you become a bartender? Well, it depends. I mean, bars are just like any other jobs, right? They're very simple. You show up, you're very clean, everything's fine. You do your job, you put the money in the register, you go home, you serve your things, everything's good, and then you're happy. Now, what happens if you work at a dive bar like me? Gets a little funny over there. Gets a little different in the dive bar world because people aren't coming in just because they're, having a business meeting or doing this or that or on a date with the one they love or the one they hope they love. No. I like dive bars, and I wanted to work in dive bars specifically because it was a place where people definitely went to go get drunk and certainly wanted to meet some people, but they were also working out other particular psychological kind of things going on in their minds. And they decided to do that in a very dark place that is legally obligated to allow them to drink. And of course, people did drugs in the bathroom, etc., etc. But what did I know? So point 1 of this story of our episode 19 is how I became a bartender. Accident. I was waiting tables. Long story short, the assistant manager did not like me one bit. I wasn't turning tables fast enough. You got to be like this, especially at fast food places. It wasn't a fast food place like McDonald's or anything like that, but it was in Boston. And, you had to like wear a bolo tie if you were a bartender. tragic. But, you had to turn the tables, like you had to keep people moving. What would you like? What's going on? Okay, increase check average, get the money, get them out of there. Next, boom. There were lines around the block. It was awesome. It was great food. I won't tell you where it is, but it was in Harvard Square. And it rhymes with Rorter Cafe. Go ahead and you just put the math together there. Great place. The owner was cool. The assistant manager hated me, but I wasn't turning the tables fast enough. So it's like, hey man, can we just make some money here? Can we get some money going here? You got to turn your tables. That's how we rent that spot out. So I wasn't turning them enough and people were hanging out, but my check averages were so high and the tip averages were so high that in a way, even the assistant manager who kind of hated me said, he makes money for the place. He just talks too much. Put him behind the bar. And as the story goes, the general manager, the guy who owned the place, Bob, said, does he even know how to bartend? And then the other guy said, don't worry about it. I'll train him to be a bartender. Well, what if he doesn't work out? Bob probably said, he will work out. I'll make him a bartender. Well, ladies and gentlemen, trust me, that did happen. Now, I'm not going to go into the details of how abusive he was to me, but he was not a nice person. And I learned the hard way about what it really means to be a bartender. It's all glamour and fun at the end when you're having sex with strange people you just met that night and drinking as much that could kill an elephant in one evening. Yeah. Now, he was a cool guy. I got no beef with him, and I'm actually pretty happy I learned the hard way on that, but that's how you become a bartender. So he took all the skills that I already knew to talk to people, blah, blah, ring things in, make money for the bar, turn that into me also learning how to lift kegs, take orders, deal with truckers, deal with stocking everything, making sure everything's rotated, everything's clean. There's a lot of different factors that are so unglamorous about being a bartender. It's unbelievable. Yes, of course, we look super cool while we're doing it. Trust me. And I certainly did. And I reaped every benefit there was. But in reality, you're just a slave, just like everybody else. Part 2 is kind of fun. It's kind of moving things on a little bit. Part 2 is like taking those things I learned in Boston and learned in New Orleans and combining them together for a career in bartending. Now, biggest question everybody always asks, do you make a lot of money bartending? The answer is sort of. Now, if you're a pretty girl, and I'm sorry, you guys can call me sexist. I'm more of a genderist, by the way. Genderism means that you acknowledge the difference between two biological sexes. And a sexist is a person who understands these differences and tries to put people down because of it. Nah, I'm a genderist, not a sexist. Anyway, the point is, no, I think if, I've seen tons of women come into the business, 19 to 23-year-old women. Some of them can handle the swings at a dive bar. Most of them, I've seen actually women on training ship pass out because, they were allowed to drink. It's like, you can drink behind the bar at a dive bar, but if you fail, it's your ass. Like, bye-bye, kid. So, yes, of course, if you're a young, attractive woman, every man in the entire bar, boom, the whole bar stools are all filled. They're buying it, but all they're doing is looking at the girl. Vice versa, a lot of male managers don't want to hire male bartenders, but you got to remember, women go out too, and there's still straight people on the planet. I'm pretty sure it's like 80% of them. They like to look at a charming guy who's in shape, kind of doing his thing, just being whatever that guy is, funny or what have you. And I fit into that role at certainly in my late 20s to my mid 30s. Yeah, I fit right into that pocket. It was perfect. And when I learned how to work here in New York City, it was great. I mean, yeah, you could take home money, but you got to remember something. There's no job security whatsoever. Even if it's like Hollywood light, right? Someone gets a bad word about you or you offended someone wrong, your whole career can be over in a second. It's cult of personality through and through. No one talks about this, and I'm certainly on the receiving and the gaining end of that. Because the only way you get a job in the bar world, a good, decent dive bar or legit bar, is because someone knows you. And the only reason why you don't get that job at that one place you really wanted to get that job at is because someone knows you. You see, it's a crafty little business. That's why they call it crafty. I'm kidding. But yeah, New York was great to bartend in. It was fantastic. I try to imagine even now to this day how many people that I probably served or came in contact with. And I was one of those people, those bartender types that actually did care about what the person was doing, kind of fun. I mean, what was I doing there if I wasn't doing that? Cleaning, making sure all the bottles were clean? No. You met people. You met interesting people. Like, I've met so many people in the world from so many different countries that are so cool simply because I served them a beer and ask them how their day was or what they were doing in town or what was going on. And this is a lost art of bartending. People forget. They say, oh, I'm in it for the money. And now a lot of people, they don't even want to go to bars because they know they're going to get overcharged for the cocktails. Like in New York now, it's like, what, a $13 cocktail? Then only to go to that place where the bartender doesn't even talk to you, doesn't even have any kind of charm for you, and it's $13. And they just act like you're lucky to be there when you're the one paying that $13 charge. No way. Give me any old school asshole French like bartender or even like a stuck up Spaniard. I'll take that any day of the week over these sort of collapsed suburban odd views of the world bartenders who are in it for the money, but they're never going to make the real money that it would take is what you have to do as a bartender. And I think that's like a really important part about part 2 is not just how you become it, what version do you want to be? And that's really about life itself. I mean, I'll leave that up to you guys for that one. All right. So 3, the beauty and tragedy of people. Yeah, this is a good one. Part 3 here. Oh, this is cool. I like that. The beauty and the tragedy of people. Wow. Anyways, but it's true. What is a bar? As I said, place for illegal, but legal in this country and most countries, intoxication in one room. There's always a guy over there by the door who's going to handle anything if you get out of line. I actually had to do that a couple times. Made me a different man. I mean, the day that you actually like touch someone and like bring someone up like that, or just do any kind of adverse behavior at a bar, like when you're like being a bartender without a doorman, it's a big deal. We don't have security. We're not even licensed in that. And I worked in the bars that needed that sort of thing. I mean, I was hit in the face one of my first shifts I ever worked in Brooklyn. Popped my nose all up. Total fuckhead. I didn't realize I could just do that. I didn't want to do that. And you never want to do that. Violence is always bad. But if you don't have a bouncer and you're bartending and it's late at night and you're in deep shit, I can't even imagine with the lady bar. I mean, some of the lady bartenders I work with whoop your ass. But, even me, I wasn't used to that. I wasn't even ready for that sort of change to behavior when you come from a dumb like corporate restaurant or something like that to like Brooklyn bartending when it was like legit. Totally different vibe. But part 3 is about the beauty and tragedy of people, and I have to say it's so true. So true. I've seen people fall in love and get married because they got drunk at a bar. Maybe it didn't really work out that well. They stopped coming around the bar and then led their own lives and then did their own shit. And I thought that was so cool. And then sometimes they'll come back and you ask them questions. Bartending is sort of an interesting entrance into people's lives that you would never even have access to because, most people live a basic life where, they wake up, they have the people in their lives that they're ready for, they do their thing. And the only amount of chaos that could possibly happen would be these places of intoxication. And me being the bartender, being the one who would be the one who to initiate some of these moments. So yeah, like I put people together. That was pretty interesting. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like I made sure people sat next to each other like a weird kindergarten teacher, but of intoxication. Yeah, a lot of things happened from it. Got to admit, it's kind of cool. I fell out with the owner because he tried to show me how to pour a drink, even though this motherfucker was like so academic and rich. I don't think he would even know what it is to take an order from anyone. The pen is mightier than the sword. At that bar, it was kind of interesting because so many different artistic people were still in Williamsburg at the time. And they were so creative and so interesting that I had to put them together. You would do the same thing. You would do the same exact thing I did. Is that you see a talent here, right? If you had it, it's like a Jenga piece. And then you see a talent here, but you know that they wouldn't normally talk because they're cool people, but they're shy and humble like any good people should be. You should be that way. And I just remember being a bartender just playing like, hey, you should, and then these people, you guys should play together, Hey, don't pee on the wall. No peeing on the wall. No, you guys should play together. And it's just fun. It was great to hold court like that because that's really what it is. It's like holding court, but being the ultimate producer, I think. And also having booze at your disposal. So it came naturally. The forces aligned for part 3. And also you see the tragedy of people, people who I like customers like that. A lot of people at dive bars or these bars now or any professional bars, like an Applebee's in your neighborhood, they wouldn't put up with somebody who walked in drunk. If they weren't on their phone, they're staring at the TV. It was like the lens and the screen run the world. It seems like a movie now when I think back to it, but it really was this, and you heard the music going, right? And so all you really had was sort of the music of the bar. You could hear the clack of the pool table in the background. The doorman was pissed about something. Maybe he didn't get his sandwich on time. Creep of the week this week, though, is what happened in bars. I don't know who we could truly blame for being creep of the week this week, but I certainly know it is a creep, and it's for the week, especially this one. The phone thing and the TV thing sort of broke everybody away from actually having to show your personality to your community. Now, I understand if you were just traveling somewhere, if I ran into, a bar in Paris and I didn't know anybody, no, I wouldn't walk in like I would here in Brooklyn as I would today. No, you walk in and take up the size of where you're at. But why are you there in the first place? People go there just to watch the TV, watch this, watch that, be on their phones. They're removing the human experience from being in bars. Why I got into it in the first place, maybe in a way why I'm out of it now. I will never, ever, ever in my life talk shit on bars. Made me who I am today. I took the money. I was the drug dealer. I was running the show. It's pretty fucking cool. I'll probably do it again. I'll probably end up running a bar. I mean, I know everything about them, but I think the creep of the week is when we forgot what bars were there to begin with. I mean, it started with the British. They were the ones who invented the idea. It happened way long before, though, as well, in other countries. Most bars, you'd even have a bar, that little separating piece. That was from the Anglo system. But even in Egypt, or even past then, and moving into certain areas of the Ottoman Empire, even though it was highly religious at the time, there was still this idea of a place where you would go into a room and the proprietor would come over and point to whatever they had, their wares. They come over here. And you'd say something and they'd mark the bottle, right? So they'd mark it and then put it on your table, and then you'd have to mark it back when they were done. And that's how they knew how much you owed, by the measurement of what you drank. As opposed to now, where they're like, measure it first and then tell you what they owe you. They measure it first and then tell you what you owe them. Little different. But to me, really, the creep of the week is sort of I hope it's not the end of the bars, like as we know it, that real. You could go in and not talk to anyone the whole night and no one would bother you. Or if you were brave or interesting or people liked you, people would come over to you, and then there would be a situation that would occur, and conversations would, sprout from that. Artistic conversations, intellectual conversations, anything. So the creep of the week, I basically, again, kind of to even mirror our last one, but even more so here with the screen tale, is inattention. Pay too much attention to the screens. Even me, as I said, walk away now. Leave me alone. Just kidding. Oh, so the creep of the week is just inattention. If you're at a bar, let's hope that we could find a place where there's a city where bars are still have that sort of element where you could just walk up to anyone and be like, hey, within manners, always have manners, of course. But no, to be able to walk into any place and really try to charm it, get it off the screen, take it away from just what, don't overthink. Don't put it in too much. It's crazy how that can work. Yeah, I think that's the creep of the week, in my opinion, as far as the bar episode. Can we do another bar episode? Would you guys be all right with that? Please comment in the comment section. Want to hear more bar stories? I'll tell you some stuff. It could be fun. Oh, yeah. So I have to say, thank you very much. I'm not doing a talkback section again. But I will talk back about something for you guys. CINEPHILIA, our little movie review that we do. This one's on Roadhouse, 1989's Roadhouse, Patrick Swayze's Roadhouse. I did it. It's up. It's online now. So if you haven't watched it already, it's only 8 minutes. It's not like this. I dress totally different. Okay. This is Sharp Teeth over here. Over there, CINEPHILIA. All right. Then there's Stay in School Kids, and there's going to be some other thing too. Yeah, we're just going to branch out. It's like you got to stay fresh. Thank you to everybody who's watching this episode. It's fantastic. It's episode 19 of Kill the Cat Radio Sharp Teeth. My name is Matthew Diabate. We are always available at Kill the Cat Radio in all the social media platforms. Please remember that, at Kill the Cat Radio. Subscribe if you have not subscribed. We need 1,000 subscribers. We are on 53. I love every one of you guys. I can't believe we're even there. I love it. I think it's fantastic. So let's keep it up. Let's keep things moving. We're moving into summertime. We're going to be in the middle of it. And I hope you guys are doing okay out there too. If you have any questions, put it in the talkback section, comment, subscribe. This is Kill the Cat Radio's Sharp Teeth signing off. Hey, welcome to CINEPHILIA Part 1, where we're reviewing all the movies that I always loved. No rules to this, just little insights into the world of my mind and the cinema that I love. For CINEPHILIA number 1, we ask you a very direct question. What happens? You got a real bad guy, a hot blonde doctor, probably one of the best father figures ever to exist on the planet. Throw them all into a small town called Jasper. Our stage, dirty old bar called the Double Deuce.
The Double Douche.
It's a chaotic place, a lot of trouble, a lot of troublemakers, a lot of 80s tits, a lot of knife-wielding bros, a lot of men with coiffed hair. There's a lot of trouble at the Double Deuce. There's only one man in the world that can handle it, and his name is Jim Dalton.
1, 2, 3. 737 coming out of the sky. Won't you take me down to Memphis on a midnight ride? I wanna move. Man, time for the man. Yeah, when I'm flying goes a man. Right in a hand. Man, time for the man.
This is a Sears credit card. Beverly, Agnes. It's okay, Bear. They're friends of mine. Hey, but Dalton said... It's okay. Trust me. Right this way through. Let it unlet it.
Let it. Hank.
Come on, darling. Hey, pal, do me a favor. Get her down off there. What do you say? I say let her dance. Woo! 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 Come on, baby. Hey, look, pal, we don't want to... Come on, motherfucker, back. Come on. Come on, motherfucker.
Escort this gentleman to the door.
Come on. Did you see that shit?
That's Dalton. Who is that guy?
He's good. He's real good.
The name is Dalton.
And our movie this week is the one and only Roadhouse. I always like it also that there's like a blind white blues player. He just knows everybody's name. He likes to say it.
Gentlemen, Wade Garrett.
Holy shit.
Exactly right.
Roadhouse, released in 1989, directed by Rowdy Herrington, produced by Joel Silver. Yes, that Joel Silver of The Matrix fame. Looks like Harvey Weinstein didn't do any of the bad stuff, but looks just like he could be his brother. Joel Silver, Harvey Weinstein, Google that shit. Starring, of course, Patrick Swayze.
1, 2, 3.
Ben Gazzara, Brad Wesley, the ascot-wearing evil douchebag. Kelly Lynch, Dr. Clay, the love interest, and of course, the greatest friend a man could ever have, Wade Garrett, played by a very young and salt and peppered Sam Elliott, has a penchant for calling his friends Mijo to their face.
How's it going, Mijo? I love you, Mijo. You got a skinny little runt named Dalton working here.
Mind your own business, Dad. You want to fight, dickless?
I sure ain't gonna show you my dick. Damn, that hurts, doesn't it? That dog won't hunt.
Hey, I had it under control.
I knew that. Had to see you. Seems to me you'd be a little more philosophical about it and cut it the fuck loose. Doc, I'll get all the sleep I need when I'm dead.
Synopsis of the story is pretty simple. Local bouncer has to take on a small town and its industry of corruption ran by jerk-off Brad Wesley. He's got to fight a lot of dudes. Wesley's a real son of a bitch.
Somebody get a drink around here?
Keeps sending his men after him, hurting some of Dalton's friends. This cannot stand. Dalton must take a stand. So he fights them all, eventually murders, or at least puts in the hospital all of them. I believe we don't have to worry about spoilers anymore. The fights are always fun. It's always charming one-liners. But in the end, it's a tale of should you fight or should you not fight. Now, Dalton comes with some rules. These are serious rules, and I think we should follow them in our normal life.
I'm telling you straight. It's my way or the highway. So anybody who wants to walk, do it now. People who really want to have a good time won't come to a slaughterhouse. And we've got entirely too many troublemakers here. 40-year-old adolescents, felons, power drinkers, and trustees of modern chemistry. All you have to do is follow 3 simple rules. 1, never underestimate your opponent. Expect the unexpected. 2, take it outside. Never start anything inside the bar unless it's absolutely necessary. And 3, be nice.
Come on.
If somebody gets in your face and calls you a cocksucker, I want you to be nice. Ask him to walk, but be nice. If he won't walk, walk him, but be nice. If you can't walk him, one of the others will help you, and you'll both be nice. I want you to remember that it's a job. It's nothing personal.
Being called a cocksucker isn't personal?
No, it's 2 nouns combined to elicit a prescribed response.
I wonder if somebody calls my mama a whore.
Is she? I want you to be nice until it's time to not be nice.
How are we supposed to know when that is?
You won't. I'll let you know.
This is just one of those super weird movies I must have found in the 80s somehow. I probably shouldn't have watched it at a young age because of all of the nudity and what have you. In the end, it's just a good time. Now I could watch it over and over again. It's one of those kind of careless, abandoned, violent films that are just sort of pointless, kind of gratuitous. But there's a heroic statement at the end. When beautiful Kelly Lynch asks, tough guy Dalton, do you ever win a fight? He casually looks at her and says, arm up in the emergency room. Nobody ever wins a fight. Remember that. P.S. This is by far the most homoerotic movie ever created in the history of time. Let's see here. Here are just some of the actual quotes written into the script. I thought you'd be bigger. I always wanted to take you. These are usually said amongst 2 men together. Maybe shirtless. What, you want to kiss and make up? I heard you got balls big enough to put in a dump truck. Your ass is mine, boy. Frankly, there's just a lot of monster trucks and men in leather vests on ATVs. So if that's not homoerotic, I don't know what is. Thanks for listening. Roadhouse, 1989, a classic. Turn it on, because you're getting turned on right here on Kill the Cat Radio's CINEPHILIA.